Pastor Terry with another Year 6 What Are You Doing podcast interview. And my guest is Duane Deason. Welcome, Duane.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Terry.
I am really glad to have you on here. You were referred to me by good company and a prior What Are You Doing guest here. So here comes the famous question, Duane Deason. What are you doing?
Well, thank you, Ambassador Terry. What I'm doing, I'm kind of excited about this. For a long time, I was helping companies manage costs and try to make themselves more efficient. And I really looked around for a while and realized that companies were doing it very poorly. And after I would leave projects, they would revert back to where they had been right when I had arrived. And so it was kind of frustrating that I could come back every 2 or 3 years and do the same projects over and over. And the problem is that what companies tend to do when they have to cut costs and they might be they miss a budget, maybe they just don't meet the numbers they were trying to or sales targets, and the first thing they do is they target headcount. And I think that it's just a shame because really what it does, it gets them into a little bit of a death spiral. They target headcount. And what happens is that they can't serve customers as well, they can't operate as well, and they can't even run other projects that would help them reduce costs. And so as a result, they end up doing poorly again. And sure enough, they have to cut costs again and they target headcount again. So that spiral continues. So I looked around and I've decided that there is a better way to do this. And when I would go to companies, I would usually be part of a team and we would form what we called a cost management center. And that cost management center would take control of all the company's costs, the checkbook, and we would just do things better and more efficiently than the company was doing on their own. And I really feel that companies can do that type of thing on their own, and they really don't need someone like me coming in. And so I wrote a book called Operationally Svelte, Manage Costs to Increase Profit and Enhance Performance. In that book, I kind of explain how you set up your own internal management center so that you don't have to hire individuals such as myself to kind of come in there and help fix the company. And I think if you follow those principles that I lay out in the book, not only do you take a more contemplative approach to how to cut costs. So you don't target headcount first. You take a more comprehensive look at the company. You take a more thoughtful look at the company and where you're spending money and how to do it better. And as a result, you're able to reduce costs without necessarily reducing headcount. And it actually empowers your organization to run more efficiently and lean. And lean companies produce better results. I harken back to a lot of startups I used to work with that were very lean and they produce great innovation and great growth. And they were able to do that because they were lean, because they were efficient. If you took those same teams and you put them into an organization that was bloated, like a large organization, their productivity and their innovation would plummet. And so, what I try to help companies do is get back to that innovation and lean environment where they were efficient and able to produce great results without being bloated and having silos and bleeding profit, and just being able to produce better results that are more make them more nimble and innovative. So that's essentially what I kind of am up to now. I go to other speaking engagements like this and try to convince people that there's a smarter way to do business than and they're doing things. I try to promote my book when I can, so because I think that really outlines things very well. And I'm hopeful that in this that I change the discussion environment of how companies operate so that they have better results and hurt less employees in their events to cut costs. So that's in a quick nutshell what I am up to.
So you wrote a book to put yourself out of business,
I
so to
hope it
speak,
does. I hope it
you
does. And
know?
I That's
Right.
right. And I think if I wrote a book on sales, there's a million books on sales out there. There are very few on how to build an efficient, effective platform that would makes a company last for a long period of time.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, did I say he's got pretty cool? Did you pick up the book? I just dropped that in there just a moment ago. And leave us some comments, ladies and gentlemen, and reach out to Duane and I for your feedback, or maybe you want to talk to him. Okay. Thank you very much, Duane, for being here. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here every week with me on What Are You Doing?